What up, though? My name is Bobby.
And I'm Veronica.
And we are the Browns.
We'd like to welcome you to another episode of
Breaking Bread with the Browns. Now, last week we was dealing with kindling the flame, keep it going, reality, coming back home from Valentine's. But in this week, I have, epiphany.
An epiphany.
The Lord really dealt with my heart. And I think the part of us as men, and I think this episode will be dealing with us as men, because I really don't talk a lot, because somebody would just be full throttle. But we as men, especially for me, in this week, the Lord have really dealt with me. And how he dealt with my heart is how I'm really loving my wife. Sometimes you think about life as a man, you never, growing up in our culture and our community, have we ever seen mother get loved the right way? Have you ever seen a man really love your mom? And so you start to learn as what you can expose to from music. You might see uncle or whatever in your community, whatever you've seen, but you get this understanding of love from what you're exposed to. But when you find God in your heart, he tells you to love your wife as Christ loved the church. And in this week, I've been getting a lot of conviction about how I'm really loving this woman. Because once we kindle, now remember when you're trying to keep the flame going, you're putting logs or you're putting
air, oxygen.
Everything got to work together. But when you do it, you're trying to blow up. But when you start doing it, it feeds it and it began to flame. And once we did it last week, it got to keep going. But the oxygen base is the reality of home and the tone that I'm setting with my wife. And so I got convicted with different things that I probably don't do or I used to do. Or also...
You was doing stuff you didn't do. He was rubbing my feet and everything, y'all.
Because it was like, why not rub your wife's feet? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why not cater to her on an off day? And I did it for Valentine's, but what about that every day? So the Bible says every day is the day the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Much as a new year. It's not about a new year. It's about every day. You know what I'm saying? Will LeBron say do better?
Be better tomorrow.
Be better tomorrow.
We got that from LeBron.
Yeah, all day.
That little bag. Be better tomorrow.
Do better. Now, personally.
Right? It was a
So, I say this is that for me, this week, loving on her, it gave me an understanding and reflection of me. And halfway on Saturday, we had a beautiful day. We went
y'all
shopping.
know we're going to be transparent with y'all.
We went shopping. And, I don't like shopping with her. Because,
we went grocery shopping.
But I don't like shopping with you because she just don't stay focused. She's like, if you go to the dollar store, she gonna come out with 35 things. She go to the grocery store, she just be in her zone. But it was fun for us because what I've been doing all week, and we just coming from last week, the build up, and it was just a beautiful day. It made me love her. Not so much on how she looked or what I could get out of it. It's like, love my wife unconditionally. Now, the scripture said, love your wife, Christ loved the church. There's an unconditional love that he have for his church. No matter how wretched, at filthy rags, no matter what you have done, no matter the situation, the blood cover it all. He so loved the world that he gave his own God. So the love is the foundation. Say love covered the multitude of sin. So, there's a situation that we had that, things that go on, that something that happened that made me reflect.
We had a little argument. We had a disagreement, and it did escalate.
It was an argument.
It did escalate to an argument
from you, not me. I was calm.
Continue.
Go ahead.
No, you said I was arguing.
But before we got to the argument, I was at a place that I was enjoying the time. And
so, just to go back, so last week, we talked about rekindling the flame. And Valentine's Day, a lot of times, that's like a physical love. And when he was talking to me all just throughout the course of last week, I'm like, you need to talk about this on Breaking Bread with the Browns, because it was a deeper love, more of a sacrificial love, or like, what did we say?
It's also a covering love. It's like a husband covers his wife. You cover her. And my goal is never make her look bad, because she's a reflection of me. So Christ loved the church, love your wife, Christ loved the church. The church is a reflection of who God is. It's all the reflection of who we are. So my goal is never put her in a position to make her look bad, but also put in a position to hurt her or to harm her or belittle her. It's nothing but to build her up. So if I'm building her up by catering to her emotionally, spiritually, and catering in the right way, I'm setting the tone for my heart toward God. Because if God is my covering and I'm my wife covering, there's a dynamic love base in that. And you get stronger. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says endure the cross. It's something about enduring the things you're going through. But quick as Saturday, as beautiful from that morning till 3 o'clock, it was dope.
It was 2.
But soon as 2 o'clock, we had a situation.
And y'all, it wasn't even serious. And
it wasn't serious.
Being transparent, it spilled over to today, right? Which a lot of times that will happen with us, and we will go to church.
And the Spirit of the Lord just...
And then we'll both be like, child, after the word, we'll leave.
Because the word does work.
God sent his word and it healed them. That's one of my favorite scriptures. And just puts you in the right mindset, because sometimes you can get out of it.
Distracted.
Distracted. But, once you get to a level in your relationship, I feel like that superficial love transitions to sacrificial and is more of service.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Serving him out of the love that I have for Christ. He's going to deepen the love that you all have for one another. And it's going to just be in a different, it's different.
It's in depth.
You know what I'm saying? It's just different. It's not like, I feel like the love that you have, it goes in levels, I think. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it is. And it was maybe said in like levels. I do feel 41, been married 18, about to be 18 years. Mm-hmm. I felt in this week a different level.
Yeah.
The level was like, okay.
It was deeper.
It's grown. It's the kind of level. See, when I grew up, I never seen mom and daddy hold hands. So you got those relationships that you drew from. And the 2 major relationships I had, really 3, but 2 was my grandfather and grandmother. But they didn't go to church on that level, and they believe in the Lord, but it wasn't like in the home aspect. But their love was real, and it was that old school love. But big mom, big dad. I don't know about y'all, but everybody got a big mom, big dad. And I had a big mom, big dad. It was like that big mom, big dad love. It was that love that you was like, even my grandfather and grandmother, because my grandma said some things to me, and years after granddad died, that things that she did, and I couldn't believe it. It was like. My grandma was the most beautiful thing ever, but she was being transparent to us about the storms in life. But they love each other in spite of. So they didn't just jump ship. They stood in there. It's service even when you have done wrong. Because if love covered the multitude of sin, I must humble myself in spite of her shortcomings. I know I can expose her, or she can expose me, or we can make each other look bad. Or we can love each other and overcome it together. And that's what it should be. But if you ain't seen this, and if you're not in this like this, then you're not going to understand it. And this is why I'm understanding as I get older why people get divorced. Mm-hmm. But we must serve each other on that level. And this week was that kind of week that it was like, wow, I feel it. But Saturday, the tension happened so quick because I felt like our emotions, we let get the best of us. I think we didn't stay humble. But then also, it's like muscle memory. Even though there's been a beautiful week and it was a great day, much as the enemy, but your flesh knows what it takes. He don't know your future, but he know your
past,
your history.
He knows triggers
the word.
Just different things. But one thing I just kind of wanted to circle back on. The only reason Bobby was saying like this is a key reason why you see people get divorced or like cause divorce. Couple things you've been doing differently or been way more consistent on this week and last week is what?
I've been praying and writing.
Right.
I've been seeking the Lord.
So
more.
These different levels, you know what I'm saying, and just getting deeper in your relationship, being able to love the way that Christ wants us to love. Like you cannot do it without God. Like you're not gonna get to those deeper layers. You know what I'm saying? In your relationship, you're not gonna get to those next levels, or different types of love. I feel without Christ, right? He gave us the direction, and when we're in alignment again, we say this all the time with Him in our Word. Like he is going to reveal different things to you, and he is changing
your heart.
Your heart, right? He is changing you from the inside. He's literally changing your heart. And my prayer is I want to love like you love. I want to see people how Christ sees them, right?
It's powerful.
If I see Bobby the way, and it's a process. Thank you, Jesus, for your grace. Thank you for your mercies that I knew every morning. But like the situation on Saturday, if I was not just walking in Veronica, right, and I was, and you was walking in Bobby, and I was looking at him with the eyes of Christ, then my response, that whole situation, but you know what? The situation would have never arose.
That's right.
Right? The attitudes based on,
you
the
gotta
incident
stay,
that would have never happened.
I think staying humble is the key thing. And also as husbands, what I've learned in this week is that I've got to expect to grow in God. I can't expect her to love me the way that I'm loving God, the way I'm loving God. In other words, I get convicted with my kids. Sometimes my son do something and it's like, but clear as day, you did the same thing, or that's what you're doing right now in your life. So it's like you got to be open for the conviction. You can't never let your heart get prideful that you can't get conviction, but also knowing if I expect her to love me, I got to love her the right way by example. Perfect example. I want my kitchen cleaned a certain way. I want dishes clean or do the clothes. Guess what? When I read this book, first book I ever read dealing with marriage, it's like your wife is not your mama. And that was the name of the book. Your wife is not your mama. And the key thing he said, and I'll never forget it, and that was literally 20 years ago, that he learned and he felt that the example have to be set on what you desire from your spouse. So if you want them to wash dishes, you start washing dishes and show them how to wash dishes. Show by example, and eventually they will fall in place. We just expect people just to know, but it don't work that way. You got to do it first as a man, that you want to expect your wife to do the same thing. And then it just fall in place as a system together. But it ain't like designate like you do this, I do this. I'm the man, I take out the garbage. You're the woman, you wash dishes. That's not real. The real part is y'all working together as a team. Together, being on one accord, in love, in faith, and being honest with each other. Because as you grow, you do nothing but get better.
So I think those were really all good points for this week. Like Bobby said, I'm the one doing all the talking, but
I'm talking.
Yeah, he does. I just don't know.
But right? Debo gone. I be talking.
So just to kind of wrap it up, let's get past the superficial.
Yeah.
Right.
The fakeness.
Not even that, just the physical love. That top layer, if you want to go deeper, you know what I'm saying? In your relationship and just a deeper love for one another, those things can only be obtained through Christ.
That's right.
Right? And through him changing your heart. So like we said, the main thing that he was doing different, he was writing. So that's something that he used to do years ago. Like once he would read the word, like write or journal. And he's back doing that, right? And I feel like God is just taking him to another level and kind of, the word, God sent his word and it healed. And when you in that word, it's going to change your mind. It's going to change your heart. It's going to heal you, right? The areas in you that are broken or like you thinking wrong, it's going to change you. Yeah. I don't even know what to say.
But you got to give the time to him first. And I think that's the part there is learning how to give time to God, to give time to your wife, give time to your children, give time to yourself. Everything's balanced. But he have to be the first fruits or the foundation set for the tone of your day. So in this week, I encourage somebody to do something different as men. I'm talking to the brothers. It is very important that you, as husbands, for all that is married, that you set a tone first in your day that you never did before. If it's reading God's word, praying, fasting, writing, because you're able to reflect your feelings on paper. I don't go reread what I wrote, but I just poured out how I feel at that moment. And that's your journal for yourself. But then in that day, I encourage you that what's going to happen is going to set up some kind of tone in yourself with your spouse. So men, this week, do something different spiritually to get closer to God, but also do something different with your spouse. Rub their feet, run their bath water, cook, do something out the ordinary, even if you don't want to do it. Because some things I didn't want to do, but it was just like, I got joy this week. Usually I wouldn't do it. Like, I ain't about, man, well, she know feet is feet. I'm not a feet man.
And my feet is not brick.
Y'all remember Boomerang? He was sitting there trying to pull the cover up, and she had them dogs. Hey, feet is feet.
I got them dogs.
Feet is feet. Ain't no such thing as sexy feet, but they're my feet. I'm gonna love on them feet. They're my toes. They're my bunions. Because as we get older, I've learned, my father always say about my stepmom, something happened to him, something happened to her, we'll go wipe your tail. Like, we gonna get, when you get old with this thing, we getting 50, 60.
Or something happened.
If something happened, you know, you got to change diapers. You got to be, someone go, like that lady, that guy that lost his wife, she got Alzheimer's. When someone get Alzheimer's, you keeping them, you taking care of them. It is like serious. When we're young enough to understand, we got to come with this now. So when we get to that place, you don't leave me with that diaper on too long, that I'd be all right. Because we need that love in our relationship. Now, for the single men, at the same token, if you're single, still seek the Lord. Because what you're going to do as you begin to seek God, he's going to tighten you up and sharpen you up. So when she come in place, a man that found a wife found a good thing, but you have to prepare yourself to get good and put the right good things inside of you so you could cater and learn how to love that woman. And wives, receive it. Okay? Humble yourself, love on your spouse, and just receive it.
I received it.
Yeah.
And I was looking like,
hold on, and I think this part here, it went on that level. I do stuff all the time.
He does, but these things were out of character. He was just extra.
My mind says, you want to be out of character in a different way, or you want to be out of character like that?
I received it, but at first, you cannot just think that you are making these changes and
see what you really think. Let's keep this real. See, she think I'm doing this because I'm trying to work on something. And it is not about working on something.
That's what you normally doing.
I don't just do something, we working on something. Which is there, you want to work on it. But you need to be working on something. What we working on is eternity. What we working on is forever.
Yes.
You are working on something. You got to work, and I'm not talking about sexually. I'm talking about just in general. Because every night, I look forward to holding her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hold her. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it ain't promised tomorrow. And we got to hold on to the moments while we have it. So, family.
Didn't he do a good job tonight, y'all? Let's give a minute. Let's round the floor. Yeah. So, you can go ahead and close us out.
Do you.
You jamming.
No, I'm not jamming. You jam that. Go ahead.
So tonight we have talked to you just about a deeper level of love with your spouse. So Bobby has issued a challenge to all men, whether you're married or single. This week, set aside time to build your relationship with Christ or strengthen it. Take time out to read the word. Take time out to pray. If you feel like journaling, take time out to pour your heart onto paper so that God can in turn come in. He sent his word in and healed them. Heal those places. You know, areas where you need correction. Let the word come in and do the work, right? Because God's word cannot come back void. Ladies, you were also given a challenge to receive, right, those awesome changes that you see coming forth from your husband's time in the word. So we thank you for tuning in tonight. We thank you for bringing it tonight. And we ask that you don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and check us out on Instagram. Break bread.
Bring it tonight. Break bread.